it's all kicking off at Talksport. Frank Warren and Jeffrey Benz, Dilly Whyte's lawyer, are going back and forth between themselves. My first question is this: why is Frank Warren, a guy who's been a promoter for 40 years, arguing with his opponent's lawyer about the contents of a contract on national radio? That for me is the glaring and obvious question. From what I'm hearing, Frank Warren wasn't really up for negotiations prior to the purse bids happening, because all of this stuff like escrow account, stuff like private jets, could have really been ironed out and sorted before the purse split, at least, or within the last couple of weeks. And I was hearing a few weeks ago, prior to the first press conference that they had where Dilly Whyte didn't show up, that there was a dispute about that private jet. But Frank Warren said, in this, effectively, I don't have to do anything extra than what I have in my contract. And then Dilly Whyte kind of dug his heels in. They, in the end, turned around and said, you know what, here's the private jet and here's the whatever. But they did it on such short notice that Dilly Whyte's team said, you know what, F this. We're not getting paid from this event. It's not going to boost our finances anymore. We're not really legally obliged to turn up there for the ticket launch, effectively. So it doesn't really make much of a difference. And, Frank Warren has to decide. If he wants to stick to the contract, then stick to the contract. Dilly Whyte doesn't have to show up to the extra press conference. At the most he's got to do is put one poster up on his Instagram saying, hey guys, I'll be fighting on April 23rd, and that's it. That's his promotional activity fulfilled, and maybe turning up for the press conference during the fight week and the weigh-in. That's as much promotion as he's got to do, really and truly. He could even turn up to doing interviews and really just give basic answers like how Anthony Joshua has been doing recently. He doesn't have to engage in all of this extracurricular activities in terms of promotions. Now, in terms of putting money into an escrow account, I understand it from Dilly Whyte's perspective. Okay, Frank Warren, according to his former fighters, hasn't always paid his fighters. Okay, now, really and truly, if I was from Dilly Whyte's perspective, whereby they've been doing him dirty from the get-go, I'll be wary whether that money is coming to me shortly after the fight or whether it's coming to me on time, in full. Okay, so the whole escrow account, I'm with Dilly Whyte on that. Now, why wasn't that agreed sooner? Great question. I think that's a reasonable question. Why wasn't that put in the contract sooner? That's neither here nor there. Okay, the tickets for his entourage and his team, etc. Again, Frank Warren should just be like, bruv, here's what it is, bruv. Like, it's calm. It's not that deep. Okay, you don't have to put it into a contract, really and truly. You just do that out of good faith. Okay, because you can't argue that Dilly Whyte's not being acted in good faith, and you're out here not putting money into an escrow account, which is pretty standard, and offering tickets for the family and the friends of the opponent, team. Like, I just see it as, well, you can't have your cake and eat it. You can't say I'm going to stick to the contract and ask your opponent to do extracurricular activities that are not in the contract, in my opinion. How do we resolve this? How do we get over this? What's next for both of these parties? Well, I think Jeffrey Benz wants to contact Frank Warren. Frank Warren's not answering the phone, so it is what it is. Okay, but that's been your little catch up of what's happened today. Peace, love, prosperity. I'm seeing you in the next video. Peace.